back to another review. I'm Jeff, and today we're going to be doing a review on the Pulse BF and the Wasp Nano, and just a couple of things about squonk setups or single coil atomizers in general, and a couple of tips and tricks maybe. I did actually do this part of the video after the up close, so if there's something that I mentioned towards or something like that, then you'll see it here in a minute in the video. We also do I wick it on camera. I don't build it on camera, but we do wick it on camera. The Wasp Nano anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and have a vape real quick, and then we'll get into the pros and the cons, a few subjective things, and we'll go up and do the up close, and I'll talk about a couple of things, wick it up, fill the juice bottle with some juice, and then after that we'll go to my final thoughts and the price and where you can get them. So first thing you could probably notice, it is kind of loud. It might just be because of the coil I have in here. It's kind of spaced and taking up quite a bit of room in the build deck, but no biggie. And I do have a little beauty ring on here just to kind of tie the whole Ultimate Black look together. As I say in the up close, you can get different doors, but I just, for this specific setup, I wanted the Ultimate to make it kind of matchy-matchy. So with the Wasp Nano being a 22mm atomizer, it's tiny. Like, it's teeny tiny. It's really similar to a lot of the single coil atomizers on the market now. Except for this one is way less expensive. So where you have like the high-end atomizers like the Haku or the Supersonic or the 1 RDA or even the V2K or whatever, they're all at least $60 or more. This one I think is around 20, maybe 25 at most. Same thing with the Pulse BF, it's really cheap. I think you get the mods themselves like $30 now. So with it being a 22mm atomizer, it has pretty good flavor. The top cap is kind of domed in the inside. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it's kind of domed on the inside, which also helps with flavor. It does have adjustable airflow, so you can move the top cap around and kind of shut the airflow off a little bit, and whatever you do on one side, it'll do to the other. So all of that is really good for flavor, really good for being able to adjust how tight or loose the draw is. You can shut it down almost all the way, and it, still just great flavor. So the coil I have in here is a 3.5 inner diameter build. It's a fused Clapton, so you can fit pretty decent sized coils in here. You could probably fit 3.5mm aliens or whatever, and it's gonna be pretty good as far as the ease of building and the flavor and everything you get from it. It's kind of like a lot of other ones. You just kind of have these cutouts, so you just kind of drop your coil in and kind of tilt it a little bit until it hits the actual clamps, and you screw it down. It does have flat head screws as well. Just isn't my favorite, but what are you gonna do? Honestly, the only con I really have for this is the drip tips just look so weird on it. I don't have a drip tip that doesn't look weird on this thing. If you get one that's teeny tiny, maybe an Ultimate Black or whatever goes along with your mod, it might look okay, but just in my opinion, it just, no. And I do show you one here in a little bit whenever we get into the up close. As far as the pulse goes, I really don't have a ton of issues with this either. I hear about a lot of people having voltage drop, but in my opinion, single coil atomizers are better for squonking anyways, so it's not going to be a huge issue if you're using a single coil. Another thing I don't really like a lot, I don't know if you can hear that on video, but the button does squeak, and I do prefer clicky buttons, and the bottle kind of leaks a little bit, and I'll show you that as well, but it's not horrible. I think it's just these seals around it. If you press it kind of higher up, the way that the bottle's made, just slide that little metal connector over it, so it's not bad, but I mean there is a little bit of droplets of juice that you get in everything in it. Like I say, in the up close, you can move that. It will not fire. And as soon as you put that back, it'll fire. The Pulse BF takes 2700s. I'm pretty sure you can fit 2650s in it. And it does also have this little battery sleeve that acts as an adapter, so you can actually fit your 18650s in there without it just flopping around. It's positively marked, positively marked. It's clearly marked positive on the bottom, negative at the top. So that's how you're going to stick your battery in here. And then the juice bottle, you kind of you can push it out of the back if you need to, or you can just grab it, which I wouldn't really recommend because it's going to get juice everywhere, but it's the nature of squonking. Battery doors go on there easily, no play in them. Don't have any issues with that. The only couple of subjective things I have are actually for the RDA. The Pulse BF itself isn't, I mean, it's a good squonker, but there's not really anything special about it. Same with the Wasp. I mean, it's really, really nice. And apart from it being, you know, cheap and easy to get, there's not really a whole bunch of subjective things that I have for either one of them. Obviously, the Wasp Nano is a single coil only atomizer, unless you can somehow figure out how to fit duals in there, which I can't see it happening. And as far as this one goes, the Ultim color, I'm not really a huge fan of the Ultim, but I did get this because it was one of the first ones that I found, and I really wanted the Wasp Nano just to try it out. But I mean, it's a great little setup. It does have a few quirks, it does have a few things, but as far as it being, you know, a $50 or $60 squonk setup, it's not bad at all. But I really hope in the Pulse 80 watt or whatever that they're going to come out with, I hope that it has a clicky button instead of this squeaky soft piece of shit. But whatever. Great flavor though. Great flavor. And like I said, with the single coil Addy, you don't have to really worry about the voltage drop as much. So here, let's go to the up close, and I'll show you how I wicked it. The up close for the Pulse BF, the Wasp Nano. I don't have the boxes, so I'm not going to be doing an unboxing right now. But I might end up doing it in a future video or something, just stick it in there. But yeah, so for the final thoughts, the up close, and then the final thoughts. Alright, so today we are here to talk about the Pulse BF. Just the mod for now. I might be doing a review for the RDA soon. And the Wasp Nano RDA or RSA, depending on how you want to categorize it. These are just going to be the close-ups. So this is the coil. I'm probably going to end up replacing this because I recorded this before the up close in the intro. So I'll probably end up having a different coil in here, but it's going to be a fuse clapped in like this one. The color I have for the Wasp Nano is obviously the Golden Ultim. Gold deck, gold building, build post, gold screws, I believe. No, this looks stainless. And the non-polished Ultim. I got this whenever they first came out, so I've had it for quite a few months. And I have the Pulse. I have the Ultim Pulse doors as well, which I got after I got the actual Pulse. So I'm gonna go ahead and just disassemble this real quick so we can take a look at everything. So the way the Pulse BF works, I actually really like it. I know a lot of people that don't, but other than the switch, I don't really have a ton of issues with it other than the bottle leaking. And it's just a little bit every now and again, but you can see back here that is a little bit of juice that came off of the bottle. And if we look around the outside of the bottle, you can see a few juice droplets. It's not a huge deal, but not the best either. So whenever you get the Pulse, it's, depending on if you get the kit or just the mod, it's going to come with the mod. I'm guessing you can pick the colored ores unless you just get a random one, but I have a couple of different sets. I think they're maybe $4 or $5 per set, so you can get a bunch of them. It has a really nice 510, a decent squonk hole in the middle of it. This little thing is a safety switch, or an on-off switch, however you want to look at it. Basically you do that, and if you have a battery and an RDA on it, the mod won't fire, so you can, if you're putting it in your pocket or in a bag or anything, you can do that and it's safe to carry around with you wherever. I have seen a few people that have removed this and just soldered the contact directly to the button. Apparently you get less voltage drop that way, but I don't really worry about it because I only use single coil RDAs with the pulse. The bottle itself, the one that I got, is the smoky one, I guess. It's really nice. It does leak a little bit, like I said before, but it's not horrible. It's just little juice droplets every now and again. Ugh. The pain of squonking. I have to clean that up in a minute. So the Pulse BF can fit either 2700s or 18650s or 2650s, I guess, as well. And it does come with this little battery adapter for your 18650s. A little bit of juice on that too. For the Pulse, it is clearly labeled. Positive goes down, negative goes up, and it has nice little cutouts for everything. Battery contact doesn't go into the bottle, I like that. Makes direct contact with the 510, it's very nice. The Wasp Nano, try to get that in the light. As you can see, has a nice protruding 510 pen, which doesn't really matter on these, but it's very nice. Very small build deck, which is going to help out with flavor a lot, but you can fit 3.5mm inner diameter coils and bigger into this without any problems. And you can get different color options. You can get a black deck with I think a black top cap or whatever. One thing I really don't necessarily like about this is it's harder to fit, or not harder, but it looks weird if you put a 510 on it. So let me see. Like, just say this 510 pen, or 510 drip tip, if you put it in there, it just, I don't know, it just looks weird to me. It's very odd, but whatever. And then you can obviously get different accessories. I have this little beauty ring type deal for it. It kind of just helps out the aesthetic. If you want to make it look a little bit more matchy or whatever. So I'm going to put this in here. Screw that on. Boom, boom. We're going to put our battery back in here. And I don't think I'm going to worry about actually redoing the coil. We'll just make sure this is still glowing evenly, which you can see that it is. So we're going to let that cool off. We're going to wipe down the juice bottle, fill it back up with the liquid. Just a general rule with squonking is it's going to be kind of messy regardless of what you have or what kind of juice bottles or whatever. 1 second. Probably end up speeding this part up so I don't see you're taking forever, good lord. Swan bottle. That's good enough for now. We're going to get our juice of choice. For me, it's going to be Hoax from SAR Manufacturing. It's a strawberry candy cream flavor. And apparently I'm almost out of it. One little thing that I can suggest though, with the way I have my bottle cut, this is about how I need to keep it for it to hit the very bottom of the bottle and still have a good connection. One thing I can recommend for you that you can do that will kind of help against leaking whenever you're putting your bottle in, give it a little squeeze, drop this in, and start screwing it in, and then you'll see the juice is slowly coming through the straw, and just let it go as you're screwing it down. There's no leak, no mess, you're good to go. So for safety reasons, I'm going to undo this. You can see if you hit the button, it does not fire at all. And we're gonna go ahead and lift this real quick. Did not get this ready at all. And for this, I'm just going to be using regular Muji or Kogan dough cotton pads, something like that. I got it off Amazon for $7 for a 200 or 400 pack or something. It was ridiculous. Do a Scottish roll technique, sort of, but with squonkers, single coil squonkers, I always try to keep the cotton a little bit looser than I would in a mech mod or something. Just gonna help with wicking. You can see there's a little bit of resistance, not too much, not too little. Cut that. Oh Jesus, this is hard to do on camera, good lord. There we go. Get a little screwdriver. Shove those wicks down in there. This one might be a little bit too long, but for the purposes of this review, it will be just fine. It should be good. It shouldn't be blocking the bottom of the RDA or anything. You can probably not even see it on camera, but the bottom of the RDA is fine. So whenever you squonk it, the juice doesn't have any problems getting up there. Put that back. I need to find another bottle of this juice. And we're just gonna paint the coils like normal. And the way I do it is I paint my coils and I'll give it a few little pulses just to kind of get the juice everywhere it needs to go. And there you go. Pretty much have it completely ready to use squonk setup. So let's go back up top. I'll give you my final thoughts and prices for both of these and where you can get them and all that good stuff. So that was the up close for the Pulse BF and the Wasp Nano. Final thoughts, like I said, I mean it's a great squonk setup for the money. Altogether, it looks like you can get the whole thing for $45. I mean, it's not. That's for the squonk box and the Wasp Nano. You can get different colors. You can get different. I mean, you can get different top caps for the RDAs. You can get different doors for the Pulse itself. You can get different squonk bottles. You can get all kinds of stuff. The only issues I have, like I said, are the button on the Pulse. And that's really the only actual issue that I have. I mean, you can get different squonk bottles, and that'll fix that problem, so you don't have the leaking like I've had in the little droplets. But you can get, let's see, you can get the Wasp Nano from eCiggity for $14.99 or Vape Wild for $15.99. So $15, $16, no biggie. You can easily get this. I mean, if you've ever wanted to try a single coil Addy, this is the one that you need to get. And as far as the Pulse PF goes, you can get one from eCiggity for $29.99 or MyV Pro for $30.99. So $30, $31 once again, really, really cheap, really affordable, and it's not bad for the money. I mean, the Pulse PF, it's put together really well. Same with the Wasp Nano, very, very good tolerances. And I really like the Wasp Nano just because of the fact that it has that adjustable AFC on it, which is not really an AFC control, but it's just the top cap moving around on the little cutouts for the air on the deck. But I mean, if you like the way it looks, if you don't mind the nipple looking shape of the Wasp Nano, then it's not bad. I mean, all I can do is recommend it. I've heard of people having issues with the Pulse and everything, but I use it every day. I like this thing. I like it a lot. But yeah, thank you for tuning in again. Hopefully another review will be soon, as soon as I get enough time to actually shoot one. I will probably be doing either the MePod, however you say it, or the Pulse 24 RDA next. So if you have any suggestions of what you want to see or whatever, I have a couple of different Magmas I might be able to review, a few RDAs, and I'm in the process of getting a couple of different things, some new things to review. But if you have any suggestions, anything that you'd like to see on my channel, any help, anything like that, feel free to put it in the comments, message me, whatever. My email's in the bio. Other than that, I hope y'all have a good one, and I hope you found this review informative and slightly, if not just a little bit entertaining. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not very good at the entertaining aspect, but hopefully.